Let's dance. I'm Max Garcia, and with all the talk of Apple copying Android with a couple of the iOS 14 features, I wanted to talk about how my overall experience with Android has evolved over these past, I would say, like 6 months of having an Android device for the very first time. I have the Google Pixel 3 XL. It's not a long-term review on that. I'm just going to be talking about Android specifically. And Android has its pros and its cons. So for every pro, I'm going to most likely list a con. It just goes hand in hand. Got to show the two sides of it. So talking about the pros. Having Google Photos, Google Maps, and Google Calendar as your basic system apps is elite level stuff. Google Photos for its unlimited cloud storage and its just perfect algorithm of detecting faces, which is, yes, it's creepy, but it just works out so well for filtering your photos with your friends and family. And then there's like this little memories tab on the top. And I know Apple Photos it's kind of the same thing, but it just doesn't work from Google Photos cloud storage versus iCloud. I just rather prefer Google Photos. Talking about Google Maps, just the way it has like a nice satellite view. It's not that simple compared to Apple Maps, and I just think it's more detailed, and it definitely gives you a little bit more of dedicated recommendations because of that Google search algorithm. And Google Calendar, it's just putting all of the things, like let's say you just bought airplane tickets. Google knows you did that because of Gmail, which you could also have as a native app, and Gmail itself is awesome. And Google Calendar just has a nice simplistic view that I like a little bit more over the Apple Calendar. So that's a pro. But then the cons, there's some really bad Google basic system apps. Like talking about the Google Notes application, the like Apple Notes application isn't the best. I use an app called Notability for my iOS devices for notes, but like the Google Notes application by itself, you just can't change the font, the size, make different types of bullet points other than just like squares. You might want to have them dots, some lines, some numbers. You just don't have the option. The Google Notes application, and there's not like a list form. It looks so bad. We definitely do have to talk about how I really don't like Android emojis. This is such a personalized thing. Like, it's just emojis, it's just how they look. But with Apple iOS emojis, they just don't look that cartoony. I don't know, I've been so used to those type of emojis. I guess when I switched, I just never got used to this Google system of emojis. It's not for me. Same thing with like the message app, Google Duo. It just didn't cut it for me. Like I really just don't like the layout of the thing, like how the fonts look and how the whole UI looks. And I much rather prefer the simplistic look of iMessage and FaceTime, in my opinion. And circling back to the main idea of why I'm making this video right now is because iOS 14 took some major Android features such as picture-in-picture, which should be standard on all devices, widgets, and a dedicated app dock that is separate from your home screen. I gotta say, I love the Android version of this app dock because when you just scroll from the bottom up, you just get all of your apps in alphabetical order and they're not arranged for you already. The top little bar is apps that are suggested towards you, and that allows you to have the apps that you only really want to see on the home screen. So maybe like the popular social media apps, maybe like a Weather Channel app or like ESPN, or maybe Netflix, some other productivity apps. Whatever the main apps you want to see, you could have them on the home screen. Everything else, you could put it away. And talking about the widgets, Android does have widgets, so like seeing the weather in the cool Google font on your home screen is nice. Apple's gonna have that similar nice looking widget, but like all the other widgets, they're just unrefined, rough around the edges. They just don't make me feel too comfortable to look at on my home screen. The Google Assistant, I feel like, is better than Siri, especially since Google Assistant has direct access to Google and all of those websites from that search web. And the Google like Now page, I don't know if it's called that, but like when you swipe left on your Pixel device, you get this whole page dedicated to articles, and those are on websites that are curated to your personalized traits. So I'm interested in like fantasy football, maybe a little bit of the coronavirus in my local city of Miami. How's it doing there? Maybe some Star Wars content, sure, why not? Maybe some throwing some Quibi. A bunch of my interests are known to Google because I search for them, and all the articles are up to date, popping up there, and every single day I go to that page and just look up some articles that I'm going to be interested in. And when you're talking about that Android software, I think you have to talk about a little bit more of the customization with the home screen, which I didn't really mess around too much with. I really just changed a couple things and then left it alone after like the first week. I might go in there, change the style just a little bit, change the wallpaper once in a while, but I like my black wallpaper. It's an OLED display, so it saves battery, and I just like having everything black, dark mode. The best. And there's no screen recording feature on Android. Why? Like, it's on iOS. Like, why is there no one? I know it's coming in the next version of the software, so it's like playback controls, but no screen recording. So, and then getting back to the customization, it's alright. I mean, like allowing you to place apps in whatever place you want. Like, it doesn't have to be all the way to the left, right. You could just have them sparsely without the display. It's not a big deal to write home about. So if customization is a major pro for Android, and that's kind of like an overview of Android, like most people say customization, it's one of the plus things. And then get into two of the con things, which I've seen in my own experience haven't been beneficial, is those software updates and the lack of camera support within various applications. Like when you try to record a TikTok video on the Pixel, it just doesn't look good compared to iPhones, and that kills me on the inside when you want to probably share quality video. You just can't, because those apps just take your viewfinder, which just doesn't have the full quality of the physical camera. And those software updates, I know they're rolling out year to year, and the Pixel is supported for a good amount of security updates. But like, no one really brags about the latest Android features because mostly everything is available to you already. So unlike iOS, when everyone's getting super hyped about these widgets, maybe app clips, a triple tap on the back of your iPhone, that just doesn't really happen, like that hype around these Android software updates, because there's so many devices and you just can't dedicate features to all of them because it's not a universal system. So Android, I haven't had the best experience. It's not something that I want to have as my daily driver. That's why I'm going to get an iPhone this upcoming fall. And yeah, I prefer iOS. But I'm going to keep around my Google Pixel 3, especially for that camera and that Google photo experience, because unlimited cloud storage, full resolution to Google Photos. Like, I can't tell you how good of an app YouTube is. Google Maps, Gmail, Google Photos. Like, the Google Suite is so good, but like that Google Notes application, and like the Google Play Store, it's just like, it's there. It doesn't really look good. compared to like the Apple App Store. And like Google has their own music service, but it's not too popular. Android's rough. Like I've said that like a couple months ago when I was like doing my first impressions of it, and it just is rough. Like it doesn't look pleasing to the eyes, and that's just as simple. Like iOS provides just such convenience and such simplicity, and just doesn't get in your way too much. I like things simple, especially with my technology. It doesn't have to be doing too much, and iOS doesn't do too much. Thank you for watching. Make sure you bless and peace out.